It's 6 o'clock. News 10 starts now.
A suspect promises to tell all about the night two men were brutally murdered. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Brennan.
I'm Elisa Streeter. Our top story this Friday night, a man connected to the double murders in Albany's Washington Park strikes a deal.
The plea bargain was made this morning by 24-year-old Aaron Bebo in an Albany courtroom. He promises to testify against the three other men charged in the killings. In return, Bebo will spend only 3 years in prison. Alexandra Lee is live in Albany with more on the story. Alexandra?
Jim, police say that back in December, 4 men walked into this park with robbery on their minds, but in the end, 2 Albany teenagers were dead. Well, now one of the 4 men that were arrested in those murders is trying to shave off decades off his possible jail time by agreeing to a plea bargain with the Albany County DA. It's a deal that the victims' families are not happy about.
Man, I'm innocent.
Aaron Bebo claims his innocence, but today inside the courtroom, it was a different story. The 24-year-old Albany man pleading guilty to a reduced charge of attempted robbery in exchange for testifying against the 3 other men accused of the double murders in Washington Park last December.
Disturbing, however, it's a necessary fact of life.
Bebo could have faced 25 years to life, but now Assistant District Attorney Paul Klein says he has agreed to a sentence of 3 years in prison for Bebo because there were no other witnesses to the execution-style murders of Larry Miller and Lamell Robinson.
In order to give a jury a full and complete picture of what happened, it's necessary to have the testimony of one of the participants, and in this case, it's Mr. Bebo.
He did it because he wants to tell the truth. He wants to put this behind him, and the sentence that was offered is a very reasonable sentence.
No, it's not fair, but that's the way life is. Life's not fair.
The mother of 18-year-old murder victim Larry Miller did not want to appear on camera, but says the plea bargain is hard to accept.
They have to let one of them go in order to get the other 3. So that's the way it is.
So what's your hope now?
Well, I just want to make sure all the rest of them get the time they're supposed to get.
Now, today's plea bargain is by no means a done deal. If Bebo fails to testify, especially against the alleged trigger man, Jesus Lebron, then the DA told me that the deal will be off. Now, in an interesting move, we were told that Jesus Lebron was recently moved to the Rensselaer County Jail, and the other guy's attorney has asked that Bebo be transferred to another facility out of Albany County Jail because he now fears for his client's life. Reporting to you live from Washington Park in Albany, this is Alexandra Lee for News 10.
All right, Alexandra, thank you. Another plea bargain today, this one for an Albany man who held his wife and children hostage. A judge sentenced 42-year-old Dominic Pasqualino to 8 to 16 years behind bars. Back on December 16th, hostage negotiators spent more than 3 hours talking Pasqualino out of the couple's Central Avenue.
Sorry to my kids and Christine.
Activist Alice Green was in court today answering charges she disrupted Governor Pataki's speech on Martin Luther King Day. Green was holding a sign in silent protest that day, but became loud when state police asked her to leave. She said her arrest was frivolous.
I think it's a waste of taxpayers' money. It's very clear that my First Amendment rights are violated. I will not be silenced, and it's unfortunate that the taxpayers of the state have to pay for that.
Green's case was pushed back another month to allow her attorney time to file motions.
News 10 on the scene as police raid 2 Albany homes on 1st Street after residents complain of drug activity.
Your son's arrested.
Yes, could I please the 537 first?
When Mary Williams returned to her townhouse this morning, police would not let her in because they had a search warrant. They arrested her son, Neil Williams, and charged him with selling cocaine, but they did not find any drugs in his home. Williams is upset because police made a mess of her house. She says it's wrong. Police arrest 3 Albany County men they say preyed on the elderly and scammed them out of their money. Police say the trio would offer to put stone down on driveways for a cheap price, but after the work was done, they demanded a lot more cash. Among those targeted, a 84-year-old woman in Clarksville and a 92-year-old man in Westerlo. The 3 men are in the Albany County lockup tonight without bail. Well, Schenectady's top cop has a new responsibility tonight. Mayor Al Jasinski has a new job for Chief Greg Kazmarek, who he has promoted to Deputy Mayor of Public Safety. Kazmarek, the announcement was made a short time ago. Steve Ammerman joins us live from Schenectady with more. Steve.
Elisa, this is a big change for Mayor Al Jasinski's administration. He says he's often thought about appointing a deputy mayor, specifically one for public safety, and thinks now is just the right time to do that. Now, Kazmarek's duties will mainly be administrative, things like speeding up promotions, looking for cost-cutting measures in the administration and basically serving as the mayor's advisor. Chief Greg Kaczmarek's birthday cake comes complete with his new title. He will keep his current duties with the police department. Now he'll also oversee the fire department as the mayor's liaison. Mayor Al Drzezinski says this will help himself focus his energy on development projects for the downtown and for the Brandywine Industrial Park.
Routine things that have to be addressed in a timely manner, he's going to be there to do that. And in that way, it won't serve as, say, a distraction from when I'm focused on, development projects here in the city.
Drzezinski says public safety issues take up about half of his time as mayor. The new position means Kaczmarek will shift more day-to-day routines to his police department's middle and senior managers. He says he will also work with the longtime fire chief Tom Varno to help his department.
They've been on some tough times lately. Morale is an issue over there. I think the morale in the police department has improved over the last few years. Maybe we can bring some of that across the street.
Kaczmarek also is interested in training paramedics to give medical support to tactical teams, those who handle drug raids and chemical spills. He says his mission is clear.
Public safety is public safety, whether you're wearing, a helmet and carrying a hose, or you've got a gun belt on and a nightstick. We're still in it for the same reason.
Now, no additional pay comes with this new position. Mayor Al Drzezinski says that may change down the road. He says if better management saves the city money, then there could be some compensation. But right now, he says there will be no money. Reporting to you live from Schenectady, Steve Ammerman, News 10.
All right, thank you very much, Steve.
Well, it's crunch time at the New York State Junior Miss Pageant. The 25 competitors are in Whitehall in Washington County for the final round of judging. And it's not just about high heels and makeup as this pageant turns 40. As Tracy Egan reports from Whitehall, it's about brains and girl power.
Just going to follow right up and then stand in a straight line and face inward. Great. Smile.
The instructions may be the same you'd expect to hear at any pageant rehearsal, but the girls practicing for tomorrow night's presentation say they aren't there to be ogled. They're taking part in the Junior Miss Pageant because the experience is good for them.
It's the people. Like, these girls are my best friends right now, and I'm going to miss them so much come tomorrow night when it's all over.
The people that I've met and, the experiences that I've had this week, learning about people, learning about myself, and just having a lot of fun. It's not what I expected it to be. It's more about people and how talented they are and all the achievements that they've accomplished. And everyone here is so talented. I've made so many friends, and I'm excited. I'm kind of sad to leave.
All right, we're going to step on the left, kick to the right.
For much of the week, the girls have had to learn a dance routine for the showy part of this scholarship pageant. And while the $10,000 in scholarship money is important, other things count too, like the hospitality of the host families that take care of the girls for the week.
My host family, Jim and Deb Fortuity, they're so great. They feed me, they do everything for me. She ironed my pants. I mean, it's not going to be like that next year in college, so I don't know what I'm going to do.
Susan Rainey of Scotia speaks for most of the girls when she says,
I really had no clue what I was getting into, and I'm not really into beauty pageants or anything. This is more for scholastic aptitude, and it's just really great. This is just a wonderful program. I'm so glad I had the opportunity to do this.
The New York State Junior Miss Scholarship Program is being held tonight and tomorrow. It starts at 7:30 at Whitehall Central School. The winner will be announced tomorrow night. And these girls are really enjoying themselves. One girl told me that her mom said, live it up now, because when you go home, you're going to be doing your own ironing.
Yeah, some very successful women have come through this program, not just in New York, but in all 50
We were
states.
talking about Diane Sawyer, Kathy Lee Gifford, Deborah Norville, and the girls say it's a real confidence builder, and for many of them, this was their first time being away from home.
Oh, we wish them all luck.
We do.
Well, stay right here now. We have much more to tell you about on News 10 at 6 o'clock.
Next from the area's #1 evening news team.
As we brace for a possible attack on Iraq, a warning tonight that can make you a little nervous.
Also coming up.
Our weekend forecast is like flipping this quarter. We have a 50-50 deal. I'm Steve Caporizzo, and I'll tell you all about it.
And later on News 10.
The governor speaks, and you speak out, and we have it for you in viewer voicemail.
Live, Jim Brennan, Elisa Streeter, Chief Meteorologist Steve Caporizzo, Sports Director Dan Murphy. News 10 at 6 o'clock will continue.
We report to you.
Well, with a possible showdown with Iraq looming, the U.S. is advising non-essential U.S. employees and their families in both Kuwait and Israel to return to the U.S. That announcement came today from Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, and Bianca Garza reports to you.
The announcement made by Secretary of State Madeleine Albright is a cautionary one. State Department spokesman James Rubin.
The Secretary made this decision as a precautionary measure in response to individual concerns. It is not based on any intelligence of an imminent threat against Kuwait or Israel.
While the U.S. says there is no threat, the Jewish community here in the capital region sees the measure as something to worry about.
Any time that Israel is threatened, I think it affects, the entire Jewish community, whether it's here in America or elsewhere.
The U.S. is also cautioning Americans about traveling to both countries.
Our advice would be, not to go.
Carl Mitchell of Courier Travel and Colony says people should heed the State Department's advice.
This advisory doesn't come out unless there's something behind it. So I would say that it's something to give serious consideration to.
Many faithful here are hoping the U.S. will give consideration to diplomacy.
Some concern, of course, but hopefully it will be a diplomatic solution. And, that will be a good solution for everybody, for the Iraqis too.
Now, the travel advisory for U.S. citizens also discourages travel to the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. Spokesman Rubin says the advisories came after concerns were raised by U.S. workers in those areas. Reporting to you live in the newsroom, I'm Bianca Garza, News 10.
All right, Bianca, thank you. Lieutenant Governor Betsy McCoy-Ross is once again breaking ranks with the governor. McCoy-Ross is calling for New York State farmers not to join the Northeast Dairy Council. Governor Pataki has said if the legislature approves a milk compact bill, he will sign it.
Spring is in the air at the New York State Museum in Albany. Its annual flower festival, New York in Bloom, opened today. The festival brings florists from all over to the museum to show off their creations. You can catch New York in Bloom over the weekend. Doors open at 10 in the morning and they close at 5 in the evening. On Wall Street now, the Dow closed out the week on a high note.
It was up 38 points today, and for the week, the Dow was ahead 44.
Chief Meteorologist Steve Caporizzo with your exclusive Doppler weather forecast.
Warmth and nice, mild, I should say.
Mild. I mean, it's going to be fairly quiet, too. No big storms to worry about. I checked my bulbs today, and believe it or not, they're up about 2 inches, the tulips and crocuses.
Well, why are mine coming up? I'm not that far from you.
Well, you got to, like, clear the snow off and let the sun hit it.
Oh, is that part of the problem?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll keep them down a little while. I want to bloom in spring.
Well, you're right. Come April and May, that's when we want them, right?
Yeah.
Let's check what's happening out in California. I'll tell you, if there's bulbs in the ground out in San Francisco, they're waterlogged. They're like sponges.
Yeah.
Look at this. As of today, San Francisco, 12.58 inches of rain for the month of February. The old record, 12.52, dates back to 1878, the wettest February on record. And it's still raining, and there'll be a couple more storms moving into Northern California over the next couple of days. Just unbelievable what's happening out across the west. Let's check outside right now. We have a quiet night. It's cloudy. It's 39 degrees, mild. It should be in the 20s this time of night, this time of year. Humidity 89% with a northwest wind at 6 miles per hour. The barometer 2966, dropping a little bit. Trace of rain today, just a few sprinkles. And for the month, we're up to 1.5, which is smack dab on normal. High today, 42, low at 37. The record high is 66, 1930. And the record low temperature, minus 16, 1966. On the satellite loop, we once again have the clouds covering much of the east. One storm, a new one, forming off the coast. That's heading seabound out over the Atlantic Ocean. Poses no problems for us. This front will swing through during tonight and tomorrow, giving us a few rain or snow showers. But behind it, there's no clearing. See all these low clouds, so it's going to be tough to dry things out between now and this time tomorrow. Here's a regional radar. Some rain and snow showers continue to pop up, in particular, at least most numerous, up in the Adirondacks. In fact, tonight, The high spots above 1,000 feet up north may pick up an inch or two of snow. Some of the hill towns around the Capital District may have a coating, but it's not going to be a big deal. 39 Albany, 37 Burlington, 30s to the west, 40s to the south. In fact, still close to 50 as you head down to Washington, D.C. Here are the weather watches. Charlotte Shepherdson and Dalton, 36. Mark Coble and Whitehall, 32. A few wet snowflakes up in Speculator at Paul's Bait Shop. The temperature at 34. 32 Knox, Hudson at 41. Here's the national satellite loop, and out to the west of us, it is nice, the plains, east slopes of the Rockies, but again, it's a long ways away. Another big storm moving into California. This is the Pacific satellite loop, and here's that storm heading into the west coast, and it is a biggie, and they're going to get a lot of rain tonight and for the first part of this weekend. So tomorrow, the dry air tries to come in. It's going to have a tough process doing that, but it will be a mild day, up lower 40s for high temperatures, 30s if you're heading up into the Adirondacks or Vermont. And on Saturday, everything gets closer to us. This high will be a little bit stronger, have a little more punch to it, and that should allow for some sunshine. All right, forecast tonight. Cloudy, a few rain or wet snow showers, maybe an inch in some of the hills or mountains, 26 to 32. Cloudy tomorrow, a few breaks of afternoon sun, 37 to 43. A little bit gusty in terms of the wind. Clearing colder tomorrow night, 20 to 25. Sunday, lots of sunshine. Should be a great end to the weekend. That's the winter, 40 to 45. Vermont and the Berkshires, cloudy, a few rain or wet snow showers. An inch in the mountains, especially up towards Killington, 25 to 30. Tomorrow, cloudy, some breaks of sun, mainly in the southern Berkshires during the afternoon. 36 to 42, breezy weather. Here's your 5-day forecast. On Monday, mostly sunny and 45. And Tuesday, it looks like a pretty good chance of rain or wet snow and a high temperature of 36. So as the weekend goes on, of course, we'll have to watch that storm for you because it could be one of those sizable ones.
All right.
And you know what that means. Problems.
Anything other than the usual?
The usual.
I'm kind of used to it now.
Well, loads of drama as the Olympics are winding down. Murph has that when we get back.
News 10 is brought to you by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Next, News 10 Sports with Dan Murphy.
Well, Murph has a special rating here for sports tonight.
Yeah, a bit of a disclaimer to start off with. Yeah, it's been on all the morning shows. It's been on the radio all afternoon. But if you don't want to know the results of the women's figure skating event at the Olympics, turn off now because I'm going to be talking about it. Turn away, turn off the TV. Last chance. Okay, here we go. Loads of drama. As expected, figure skating finals at Nagano. Michelle Kwan entered the day in first place and went first in the final group. Kwan was good, but not great, which opened the door for little Tara Lipinski, who wowed the judges with a near-flawless performance, Lipinski taking the gold medal, while Michelle Kwan has to settle for the silver.
If I had one place to pick to have a great performance, it would have been here. And, you know, under every pressure there was, and, you know, everyone's skating great, and I knew it, and just skating wonderful for myself just was so amazing.
I'm a little disappointed with the silver. You know, it's not the color I wanted. I can't say anything bad about my performance. I fought out there. I really tried. And deep down inside, I know I did my best.
First U.S. 1-2 finish in women's figure skating since 1956. China's Lu Chen took the bronze. Other drama in Nagano came a bit earlier this morning. The incredible Canada-Czech Republic semifinal hockey game. As he did against the U.S. in the quarterfinals, Czech goalie Dominik Hasek frustrated the favored Canadians the entire game. In fact, this game was scoreless until early in the third. Yuri Slager beats Patrick Waugh 1-0 Czechs, and it stayed that way till the final minute of regulation. Frantic Canadians finally tied the game at 1 on this Trevor Linden goal. Following a scoreless 10-minute overtime, it came down to a shootout. Robert Reichel giving the Czechs the lead, while Hasek stopped all 5 Canadian efforts, sending the Czechs into the gold medal game.
Maybe I played a great game. I stopped all 5 penalty shots, but my teammates, they did a great job, and I think we are a better team, and we deserve to win.
We were excited about the opportunity of trying to win a gold medal, and with the hope that we would win one, so we're really disappointed.
Czechs will play Russia in Sunday's gold medal game. The U.S. will take on Finland in tomorrow's bronze medal game. Meantime, tonight, pretty special game at the Pepsi Arena. Siena Saints, their final home game of the regular season, and plenty on the line. A victory over Manhattan tonight. The Saints still have a shot at being the 2nd seed in the upcoming MAC tournament. A loss, and they could still drop as far as 6th.
We want all the games on the home court. We want to win all of those. We've only been unsuccessful twice at the Pepsi, and if we can win this one, then I think coming in, our guys have a nice confidence boost, and it would be nice to get that number 2 seed.
7 o'clock tip-off at the arena. The ladies Siena Saints had a chance to wrap up the MAC Conference Championship this afternoon. Lost to St. Peter's. We'll have highlights of that post-game reaction at 11 o'clock.
All right, Murph. Well, time now to take our weekly look at what some of you had to say to us over the past week.
We received lots of calls on subjects ranging from Saddam to Steuben. Here's a sample in tonight's viewer voicemail. As President Clinton tries to drum up support for an attack on Iraq, one viewer tells us she doesn't think it should happen. I'm really unhappy, disgusted, and sad about this impending war. We're the most violent country in the world, the only country that I know that glorifies war. Another viewer says, why don't we stop attacking Saddam Hussein in Iraq? We have no right to bully the little countries of the world. Albany under attack for loaning thousands of dollars to the prestigious Steuben Club. Our own Fred LeBrun says the deal should have never happened. Many agree. I think it's awful. It's just politicians helping out their pals. I don't think my tax dollars should go for that. There are other clubs like the YMCA. I'm sure they could use the money. Another viewer has a suggestion. Maybe they should drop their rates and allow the other people who work downtown to utilize their facilities. Governor Pataki giving speeches to make extra cash has many of you speaking out. He can't live on $130,000 a year. I live on $5,000 a year. I would like to see him live on that for a change. And that's going to do it for us. World News Tonight is next. Good night.
Thanks very much for joining us. Tonight on 2020, Barbara Walters talks to Monica Lewinsky's father, his first public statements on the White House.